Hey there, this is Connie Schulte, and I'm here all the way in Bahamas to share with you the story of La Sirena de Nassau, or the Mermaid of Nassau. Mellisa Altenburger is a girl who prefers to spend her days underwater. Her best friends are sharks, but it was actually Bubbles, the turtle, who introduced Mellisa into the ocean's wildlife.
In 2017, I was taking a walk and noticed a turtle on the side of the boat. And usually, I'll pull my phone out and take a photo, and they'll swim away. You know, they're very shy. And this one didn't. And I noticed that every time I tried to swim down, it would kind of bounce back to the surface. So it made me realize that something could have been wrong with it. Another worry was that they mistake plastic for jellyfish and end up eating a lot of plastic as well. I can't leave this animal, I need to help it. So I quickly got in the water and managed to get hold of the turtle, and it was pretty big as well. So I managed to get it up above my head, and my friends took her from me, and we had to put her in a bucket with a wet towel. Unfortunately, she didn't make it to the second day. So they did an x-ray and found that it had swallowed a fishing hook that had ripped through its intestine and punctured its lung. So that created an air pocket, which was stopping the turtle from swimming down. And I was devastated. I spent hours looking into this animal's eyes, and I just felt like I needed to do something.
Let's clean the ocean. Mellisa started to organize events to clean the beaches, but there are still tons of trash dumped into the oceans every day. How many mermaids will we need?
Because it can get overwhelming. You can't, sometimes you can't pick up everything. So when I'm cleaning a beach, there can be anything from plastic bottles, tin cans, fishing line, cigarette butts. You can find anything and everything.
What's most important to take out?
The most important would be plastic.
All the plastic that ends up in the sea breaks into miniature particles that are small enough for corals to eat.
I've learned that actually corals are eating microplastics. So I didn't know that, and that's scary. Even if you don't think that it's affecting you, it is. Like the fish are eating the microplastic and we're eating the fish. It's coming back into our home.
How do you prefer your sushi? Served with plastic or with diesel?
So we went out paddleboarding, just doing a little day trip, and then went around from Jaws Beach over to Clifton Heritage. And when we got there, we found ourselves in a bit of oil. So we were gonna get in and look at the statue and do a little bit of diving and stuff like that, and then we opted not to because the amount of oil that was in the water.
But wait, wasn't it just yesterday the news commemorated the oil refinery good deeds?
The Bahamas Petroleum Company conducted a final report stating there was not a significant amount of harmful material leaked into the water.
Where is it coming from?
Most likely the ships unloading fuel. If you saw black, then it was actually crude oil for the generators for the island. If it was just a clear film, it could be diesel. Most places, when they do transfer ship to ship, they have booms around it, right. And here they don't really do that.
So where's the good news then?
There's still just not enough public pressure, media to talk about it. Most of the time, almost 70% of the days of the year, you have east winds, so it just blows away from shore.
Right.
When you have west wind, it blows into Albany, and that's when you see it on the news.
Gotcha.
Then you see the multi-million-dollar yachts with that oil
sludge on the bottom.
So where's the oil coming from?
It's coming from the power plant. They've had some issues throughout the years, but they are trying to fix it, I believe, and it isn't as bad as it was a couple of years ago.
How was a couple of years ago?
It was terrible. I remember swimming down and looking up, and I couldn't come up because it was just it was terrible.
2016, there was Hurricane Matthew here, which right here where we were got basically underwater and quite a lot of destruction. They decided to rebuild it underwater so that if another hurricane comes, it's not going to destroy it. I helped with that project, and unfortunately we had some oil leaks, and they just told me not to say that there was ever an oil leak. Say, call it product, because if someone hears on the radio, you don't want to hear that there is an oil leak.
There's big money in oil, and obviously, you know, if things get spilled, something happens, you would just think, oh, you know what? They're just going to pay the fee and be like, sorry.
How are things different now? Are there any fining?
I've never heard of any fines for any of those oil spills. And it happened, I've seen it happen at least, I would say at least like 60 times.
However, not even the plastic nor the oil discouraged the locals and tourists from enjoying a delicious conch dish.
The conch is a mussel, has no bones, lives in a shell. You can just crack it out of the shell, clean it up, and just take a bite. But us, as Bahamians, we prefer the salad. We love the salad.
It's almost gone, but there's no more. What's going on with that?
I wouldn't say it's almost gone, which will give them a chance to reproduce. We won't let it get to that point where it's distinct.
The damage done by overfishing goes beyond the marine environment. It changes entire ecosystems.
To eat things that are in season, you know, would be more sustainable for the ocean.
But there are some extraordinary people who are making a difference by living in a more sustainable way.
Every morning I get up, I take care of what needs to be taken care of, comb the beach, making sure every footprint is out of it. Sometimes poison leaves, some balls, cans. So as I leave it, then I see it, I would just take it and put it to the bin, so wherever it needs to be. I enjoy my work. I enjoy doing what I do.
I volunteer for the Reef Rescue Network, and we have a coral garden. We'll grow them, and so they become branches. So we just got to make sure they're clean and healthy through the 6 months.
You're out in the ocean, you're sailing, everything is okay. But when you have no wind, then the back fume, you're breathing diesel all the time, it's very bad. So then I said to myself, just load the boat with solar panel. Solar panels are becoming very efficient these days. There's enough energy out there in the nature to charge battery, and then you use electric motors. So I took the diesel engine out. It's much cheaper because I have no cost. I don't buy diesel fuel anymore. 100% nature, no fuel.
Don't you feel like you want to do something about it?
Trying not to buy things that have, you know, the plastic, and I know it's hard. Dispose of things the correct way. If you've got any plastic rings, always try cut them before throwing them into the trash. If you're throwing away a plastic bottle, it's better to throw away the bottle with the lid off, because then it's easier to get compacted. Just little things like that make a huge change, you know, or try and buy something in a cardboard box rather than a plastic.
How about we clean up our mess for the future generations?
That's why it's my passion to educate these kids and make them aware of ocean conservation and what they can do, you know, to help. With this turtle dying, I'm hoping we've saved another 100.